me some comp.
It's not every day that you get to experience black luxury on a level beyond your own imagination. At its finest,
I wanna celebrate this life forever. I'm living it, not dreaming it. We getting it, black luxury. I wanna celebrate this life forever. I'm living it, not dreaming it. We getting it, black luxury.
by intuition and balance is how I'm led. My bank account's properly nourished and well fed. I guess that's what happens when you eat food for thought. Then that same food transforms you into a boss. Strategizing, calling plays for the whole team. Sacrificing foolish ways just for more green. Even as an outcast, so fresh, so clean. Real life, this ain't a dream, bitch, nah I mean. And one you can't attain trying to play it nice. The kind you only get with real sacrifice. Cause when everything costs, you gotta pay the price. Wins or losses are in the rolling of the dice. Words I once heard an OG say. Life is just a game with no replay. Manifest your realest dreams with no delay. Anything other than it's just a state of decay.
I wanna celebrate this life forever. I'm living it, not dreaming it. We getting it, black luxury. I wanna celebrate this life forever. I'm living it, not dreaming it. We getting it, black luxury.
Blue skies, clear beaches, paradise views. Purple kush, vegan plates, all the right foods. I'm in the league of excellence with black tycoons. If you feel me, follow me and hit them like views. I imagined this before it happened. Music helped it manifest once I chose rapping. It was a matter of believing in my own magic. Honing my craft, it's evident I have grown at it. Now it's perfectly perfect cause of plenty practice. And the reward is so worth it without any malice or jealousy or malintent that can come with success. It's important to keep my circle real tight and compressed. I was taught never fight over less. In time you see who is rightly the best. I was born with this gift in me and I duly confess. God is at the helm of it all, cause truly I'm blessed.
I wanna celebrate this life forever. I'm living it, not dreaming it. We getting it, black luxury. I wanna celebrate this life forever. I'm living it, not dreaming it. We getting it, black luxury.
This is adult contemporary hip hop at its finest. Salute to the God and goddesses. Welcome to another hour of adult contemporary hip hop uncovered. I am your host, the Incomparable Redd Fidel, aka Red Carpet Red. I was born with this gift in me, and I duly confess, God is at the helm of it all, because truly I'm blessed. Sometimes I get off of my own lyrics. But anyway, man, we're going to have a wonderful hour. Joining me again from last week is my cohort and my co-host for me, holding it down with me this week is none other than Jeremiah.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Ain't nothing like family. It ain't nothing like comrades when we building. Because a lot of times I asked them to be on actually because throughout this journey of music that I've been on, if no other person has been there seeing me actually grow and me flourish, this brother has been there. He has seen my growth. He has seen me from, my inchoation stages in the beginning when I first started doing what I'm doing and to where I'm at now. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing in itself. Likewise, I've seen him grow as a person, as an artist. And so it's good to kind of like balance and piggyback off each other. And sometimes we have some of the most deepest conversations pertaining to hip hop and rap. And I found it to be, something that we can actually, segue and carry on to a forum and a platform like this as well. So that's why I wanted to bring them on, because I want to touch on a few topics today. First and foremost, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling good. How about yourself, man?
I'm well, man. Today was a beautiful day. It's a little overcast, but nonetheless, it turned out well. It was kind of busy for me, but it don't stop. When you got a goal in mind and you setting your intentions, you just keeping your eye on the prize. Same way, you doing with your project. I was talking to you backstage, and you were saying that you was actually working. Hello, you see me?
I didn't hear the last part. You went out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My phone went out. Excuse me. I was talking to you backstage prior to us going live, and you was telling me how you was working on a new video for one of your projects, man. What you got going on?
We're working on Shattered Dreams.
I like the title.
It's called Shattered Dreams.
Okay.
So we're trying to get some shots to put together for that video. So I was listening to you earlier just now, talking about how you had a busy day. I had enough time to get out and wash my truck today, man. I hadn't done that in a while, to go down and get those shots. Needed that to be a part of those shots. But definitely.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So when can we expect to see this video? When you gonna be ready with it?
Say within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
In the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Now, Shattered Dreams, when you say Shattered Dreams, that's kind of like one of those, to me, that's a topic and a subject matter that to me seems to have depth to it. Like, I feel like wherever you're going with that is definitely something that was thought out. It was something that has, I would say, content that needs to be listened to and not just heard. Can you expound on basically what that is about?
We tend to have dreams, and I used the situation with George Floyd as a premise to what I was writing the story. I'm sure he had a dream, regardless of what his situation was, and that was shattered that day when that officer took the time, took those 9 minutes 29 seconds to put his knee in his neck. So that's actually the premise of it. And as us individuals, we have, like I said, we have dreams, and we sometimes we never get an opportunity to reach those dreams. They're shattered for whatever reasons they are.
Right. I mean, I like the concept. I like it a lot. And even the title, Shattered Dreams, it sounds like to me like something you would see on the cover of a book or something like that. And even like it's appropriate.
Splattered along the trail that seems to lead through a stream of death. Shattered dreams splattered along a trail that seems to lead to a stream of death.
That's all right, though.
The rest, yeah.
Since you teased the listeners and the viewers with a piece of that, do you mind actually giving us a taste of what that is? Giving us a taste of that composition. I'm curious. I want to hear it myself.
Shattered dreams splattered along a trail that seems to lead to a team of death. Terrorists. Look over your shoulder at your surroundings. The historic fabric of the community is being replaced. Displaced inhabitants turn to homeless, turn to deadly habits. Splattered along a trail that seems to lead to a stream of death. Terrorist. Just a little piece.
Now, interesting. Now, am I correct when I hear you say the word terrorist? It sounds like you said terrorist. Yeah. I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, so you're punning off the word terrorist, saying that terrorist.
Correct.
No, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I like how you did that. I like how you played on that word. That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call stretching and playing with the phonics of words and the phonemes and understanding how the wordplay situation works. Taking a word and bending it to your own
definition and bending it to fit whatever you trying to actually convey and whatever it is you actually spitting or what you speaking. You know, in hip hop we do that a lot as well, where we take a word and bend it, and sometimes, you know, mispronounce that word to make it rhyme with whatever we needed to rhyme with. But it's funny how you can do that and the mind still knows what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Wayne was good for doing that a lot too. He'll say a word incorrectly, but then say it correctly the very next line, let you know, okay, that's what I was really saying. But I had to make that rhyme with that so y'all know what I'm doing. So it's interesting how you can play with words and poetry and prose and hip hop and spoken word, all that. That's the thing I like the most about it. You know, being able to play with words and stuff like that. And let me ask you, coming up, let's just say like when you were in school or whatnot, was English a strong subject and major for you? Were you a person that was always attracted to words or things like that? Or, you know, what was your strong suit when it came to that?
I was reading. I mean, because reading, I know I could recall my 5th grade teacher telling me, when reading, if you don't understand what you read, the next sentence will give you the answer to what was in the beginning in a particular word.
Okay.
I think, like you said last week, growing up, we did a lot of taking vocabulary words that we didn't have the definitions for and writing them down on index cards, and taking the time out with the, you know, you have the index cards with the 3-ring binder on them, and go back like flashcards, go back and forth and learning them. Right. Kind of took that from, I think I even heard you say one time, you heard the great DOC use that as a concept to learn a new
word,
vocabulary word every day.
Right. You know, it's funny you brought up my man Trey. You know, that's his real name. I'm a real fan. So it's like, you know, a lot of people, they give kudos to Rakim, which I do. I salute the brother. In that time, you looking at Rakim, you looking at LL and Big Daddy and people like that. But I can truly say that DOC was very influential in me shaping my style and how I started to approach rhyming, because like you, I was a fancier of words. Didn't really know, you know, that was a strong suit, even though when I was young, I would win a lot of spelling bees in school. Like my mom, she still has a lot of my awards from elementary. I just had a natural knack for spelling words and crossword puzzles and things of that nature. But when I heard DOC, when I was reading a Word Up magazine back in the day, you know, where he had to write on in the Word Up magazines and all that, and he said that his father, if I'm quoting this correctly, he said his father made him learn a word a day, and that just like the light bulb came on, because I thought about it. I said, a word a day. There's 365 days in a year, so that means if he learned a word a day, he learned 365 new words. Some people don't even die knowing 365 new words. You know what I'm saying? So this man, and being as though I'm so competitive, I was like, if he learned 1 word a day, I'm gonna learn 5 words a day. So I started with 2, then I went to 5, and then at the time, I used to make my daughter, mom, what she would do is read the words back to me in the evening. I would learn them doing work, and then I would write them on my little index cards, and she'll read the cards back to me. She'll say the word back to me, and I had to say the definition of it. And I also with those words, I would put synonyms with them. So not only would I learn the word, I would learn other words that meant the same thing to actually build onto it. So I progressed myself all the way up to 10 words a day, along with 2 or 3 synonyms with it. So the vocab, I've actually forgotten more words than probably some people even would ever know, because I don't use them. You know, we don't use them in our Vulgate. You know what I'm saying? We just don't use them in everyday colloquial, language. So, that was something that really drove me to want to be the best, because I knew with songs, what makes a song are the words that you put in it. So if I knew words, then that gave me a strength and a strong point that I knew that my competitive MCs, they probably wasn't on like that. You know, they just was still regurgitating and recycling the same shit they were saying, versus I was just spitting words that you can make more stuff rhyme. You can make the rhyme more colorful if you got more of a
especially with the emotion.
Yeah, with the emotions. Yeah, if your vocabulary is more expansive, you
Right.
could expand the actual vision of it to me. So that's what kind of led me to that. So I always give people like DLC props like that or for that. And even when you listen to No One Can Do It Better, his wordplay was even different. You know, he sounded different. His wordplay was different. His enunciation was like A+. He just really possessed all the tools that I think a real legendary MC should have. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, his career was cut short due to that untimely accident. But dude was really kind of, to me, above his time. So I always had to throw him in there when people talk about great MCs, because though he had that one little album,
he does get forgotten.
He gets forgotten, man. And that dude was he was about to make a shift. And the people don't realize he was from Texas. Like, he wasn't nobody spitting like that from Texas. You know what I'm saying? So dude he was about to make a shift. So I always give him props for that. Who was one of your favorites coming up in that time?
Who was one of my favorites coming up in that time?
Yeah, in that time, who was one of your favorites?
That would be what was that? 89?
89, 90. What we know?
89, 90. I actually liked KRS-One during that time.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
but that was right. That came right after, especially when my Philosophy came out. In the video. Remember when they stopped the music in the video? When he was standing next to the Jeep, hitting around. I said, okay. It allowed people to take the time during that time. Again, it allowed people to take the time out to listen to thought. Yeah,
that's true. You got a point. And it's interesting because I must admit, I was a little late getting on to KRS-One. And though I knew about him, even down from the first records, the one where, you know, God, what was the name of that album? What was his first album? God, I can't think of it.
Criminal Minded.
I was on it, but then it was like I was already on too many other MCs, especially from up top, that I liked. But I kept him on my radar. Then he dropped that the one by All Means Necessary, where he was standing to the window like Malcolm with the rifle. That's when I started like, okay, I'm checking him out. The whole Boogie Down production brand was starting to grow. But like you, when I heard My Philosophy, I was like, okay. I was like, this
was something different for that particular time.
Again. Philosophy was right. Now, a lot of people like Love's Gonna Get You. I thought Love Was Gonna Get You was good, but it didn't touch me, be honest with you, like My Philosophy and like Rapture. I used to love Rapture. Rapture was crazy. That one with the girl singing, Step into our world. That joint was crazy right there.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, this dude, that was crazy. That's when I was like, okay.
He was also able to regenerate himself. Because remember when he came out with the album, I think it was called Rappers Are in Danger. I think that was like,
was it an album?
Fast forward to 1995, maybe.
Now, was it an album or was it just a song on the album?
It was an album. As a matter of fact, it was the time we actually saw a concert. It was.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Now, you sure it wasn't Return of the Boom Bap? That was the name of that.
No, it was after Return of the Boom Bap.
Oh, it was after the Return of the Boom Bap. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Return of the Boom Bap was good as well.
That right there to me was like that was a resurgence of him to me.
Right.
Every song on there, we used to bump that tape to like.
Yeah, that's our album that had. That's the sound of the police.
Yeah. That joint was crazy. Chris was doing his thing. Now I will say, I've seen my share of concerts. By far, he was the greatest person I ever seen that rock a stage. I've never seen nothing like that. I must give him that. Like, that dude truly defines MC Mike Controller. From the time we seen him do, from the time he came on that stage, everybody was on their feet. It's like he had you like in his trance. Like, he knew how to control and rock the mic.
He was an MC.
He was an MC. And I was like, wow, I don't know why I'm standing up, but I'm standing up. This dude just has us up, and he wasn't letting you down. Song after song, he knew how to actually come into the next song and keep you keep you there. He didn't let you lose a beat. It wasn't no like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. You know how you be hyped for some people's song, then you sit down and they'll go through that one to your next song, come on, then you rock. No, every song, man, you was like, yo, this dude is killing it. Yeah, that dude was Chris was that guy. Chris was that
Speaking of that particular concert, tell me an MC at that particular concert that was able to get booed and then redeem themselves, and became nationally known.
Oh man, without a doubt, we know that. A lot of people don't like. You know what? That was a historic moment because we saw the making of someone, and then what was so crazy about it? Prior to them leaving the stage, they actually said, "Y'all ain't ready yet."
Y'all ain't
remember
ready
that?
I will be back. He said, "I'll be back."
Hey, you know what was crazy? That was the first time I actually seen somebody get booed off the stage where they threw stuff up there. You remember they messed the whole stage up. They littered the stage with food, cups, everything.
Everything. They booed him. And he was already signed to a label because this was a label concert.
Remember that was a
Jive record.
Yeah. Dude was rocking though, because remember we was like, who this dude is? This dude grinding though. But it was like he had a swag about him that was like, damn, that nigga rocking the stage though. But yeah, to answer your question, that was none other than Mr. Here I Go himself, Mystical. Because right after that, it probably was not even 3 months. They dropped that Mystical, that doom, 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 that Here I Go, and it was over.
It was over.
Over.
He said he was gonna be back. He said it.
Hey, boy, when they dropped that Here I Go, I was like, that's that dude we seen. He told him though, he said, y'all ain't ready yet. Hey, and what he said on that song? Y'all mama ain't ready.
Sharp as a machete.
Hey, man, that dude, man. I used to call him the James Brown of rap. He reminded me of James Brown, the way he rhymed. It was like this dude, he got his own little movement, but he was interesting. Now, he was, to me, unique. He was very unique. Very unique. A style like that, though, you have to morph it into something else, though. It don't keep lasting, though. It's strong, but it's like after a while, you gotta morph that. And that's the beautiful thing about rap and those who have longevity. To me, it's like those who are able to stand the test of time. Now, to me, thus far, who's probably done that the longest, and finally, I think his steam is run a little bit, but he's still the GOAT, is LL. LL was around a long time, bro. When you think about it, he had mad albums, huh? Like, dude was around a long time.
He was also one of those that I was listening to during that time. Again, if we're talking about that particular time, that again, 89, 90. LL also was one of those artists that I was listening to.
Yeah.
At this time.
Yeah. LL really put in work. I got to give him his props. And we seen James Starr Smith grow up in front of us.
Right.
And he never was whack. Like, you might not have liked the album he put out.
But
you can't say he couldn't rap. You couldn't say he couldn't rap. You know what I'm saying?
And why they sleeping? I actually like that 14 Shots to the Dome album.
It was a decent album. It was a decent album. It really was. It really was. The other day when I was driving, they messed around and played one of my favorites by him. Mama Said Knock You Out.
Yeah.
Because I wore that CD out, or that tape rather, shall I say. And I really listened to it. First of all, he had 4 verses on there, which is never going to happen again. You barely get 3 verses out of MCs now, but he had 4 verses on there. But what I really was studying, listening to that again, that dude was able to exhibit an intensity on there, verse for verse, line for line, word for word, that really is difficult to do and not go hoarse or kind of lose yourself. Everything was crystal clear. You heard everything, every inflection. I was like, yo, that dude right there, yeah. Great diaphragm control, great vocal control. I was like, yeah, LL. I was really impressed listening to it a few days ago. Like, damn, LL really was on his game. Like that it was just tight. And good. And shout out to Marley Marl for resurrecting his career, because LL had them fail for a moment. And then Marley Marl had to bring him back. So shout out to him for resurrecting.
And shout out to LL for actually reaching out
Yeah.
to those. You know,
Yeah.
he could have been like, hey, I don't want to. I mean, that was outside of his regular, I think, set of producers.
His production. Outside of like Bobcat and
right.
His people like that, you know
Cut
what I'm saying?
Creator and those boys.
Yeah, Cut Creator and boys, yeah. Definitely that. Definitely that, man. That was, you know, we speaking about real adult contemporary hip hop artists.
We are.
Real life.
Also, Big Daddy.
Man, let me tell you, man. You already know that was my man, right?
Yeah, I know.
You already know Big Daddy. What was that? King Asiatic, nobody's equal. You know, Big Daddy to me is not in the conversation of great MCs enough for me. I think that, you know, and there's nothing against the God MC, the R, nothing at all. And I just said this to my comrade the other day. I want to say, I think it might have been me and Cassius. And Big Daddy came to me, and a lot of people might be mad with this statement. I think Big Daddy came to me probably has an edge on the R. And I say that because I like Rakim. Don't get me wrong. I think Rakim is dope. Rakim came and shifted it from the hip hop hippity style to like making niggas really rhyme, like this lyrics. So I give him props for that. Big Daddy was able to me, Big Daddy did he bought the same thing. Like he had his own little style too. You remember he used to be the confuse, lose, abuse. He'll take one word and rhyme that same sound on it. You know what I'm saying? But he was, to me, he had more. If I had to really judge him for all his variables and all his different, I would say, nuances, to me, I think he was a bit more versatile. Like when we don't think about it, besides LL, who had I Need Love, Big Daddy had a big pop song with I Get the Job Done. And his lyrics wasn't compromised or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he was dancing at the same time. Him and Scoop Scrap. Like this dude really was like doing his own thing in his way. But it's
that
like
allowed him to cross over a little.
Yeah, it allowed him to cross over because that was a Teddy Riley production. You know what I'm saying? So it's like dude really had his own little thing, but I think what hurt Big Daddy, he got too caught up in, you know, the Black Caesar, you know, the sex symbol thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, the cats wanted to hear
with Madonna.
Yeah. I think for us, you know, us little rugged knuckleheads at the time, we wanted to hear that I get raw Big Daddy. We wanted to hear that ain't no half stepping, and he kind of went to the whole nother kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But Big Daddy, I think Big Daddy's really up there like with Rakim to me personally. You know, a lot of people may not agree, and that's understandable. But I think that Big Daddy kind of is up there lyric for lyric because the dude can spit. Another person, he's usually in conversations, but at the same time, he don't get enough conversation. I'll say that's Cool G.
Cool G Rap.
Yeah, Cool G Rap. Yeah, my phone went on. Yeah, Cool G is definitely, and you and I actually was just talking about that the other day, huh?
Right, we were talking about Ill Street Blues,
Yeah. Cool G Rap. And now it's interesting enough. Both had lisp, him and Eric Sermon. But how would you rate the two as far as lisp MCs?
Of course, Cool G Rap being better. And not only that, due to the fact that he had a lisp, he had good dexterity with that lisp. And whereas you knew he had it, but you couldn't really tell. Whereas for me, with Eric Sermon, I could tell. And I maybe also because the talent level wasn't the same, so it brought it out more.
Well, when you say talent level was the same, you saying that Cool G Rap was like really surpassed Eric Sermon from a skill set.
Yes, rhyming, definitely.
Yeah, I can agree with that. EPMD had more success than Cool G Rap and DJ Polo from a standpoint to me of branding and production, but I agree with you. I think pound for pound as an MC, yeah. Cool G Rap he'll eat up the best of them. Yeah, and he was gangster with it. Like New York really wasn't on that gangster. I mean, you look towards the east, which is New York, for like, you know, God body lyrics and, you know, or just rhymers, battle rappers like the LLs and stuff. But he actually was talking like some real street stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Cool G was talking that real street stuff back then. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Just Ice.
Just Ice was like that too. He was real. Just Ice was that man too. Just Ice. But it was some hitters back then. I think about that like, wow, we really had a buffet of artists that we could choose from. So I think that's what made.
So again, even back again in that particular area, because the more we talk, the more I think about it. You know, the first person that came up was KRS-One. But quite honestly, during that time, PE, because remember that's when It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back had just come out.
Yeah.
88, like fall of 88. Because remember, man, we were riding out to Don't Believe the Hype.
Wasn't it an album before It Takes a Nation of Millions, though?
Yeah.
It was the
I
one
think
before
it was
that.
Yo Bum Rush the Show.
Yo Bum Rush, yeah, it was something like that. It was an album before that. I could see them in front of the car. They was like
Right.
in front of the Cali. Yeah. I remember because
the album that catapulted them.
Yeah.
Was that Nation of Millions.
Now them, they was in a class all by themselves.
Yeah.
Even down to production, down to everything was perfectly synced. You know, they had, it was just perfect. You know, I kind of was hurt when that whole thing, you know, happened with Professor Griffin. The whole, now I was like, man, because you saw the demise of the group. You saw the group now, like, you know, being infiltrated. Yeah, it was like, man, because they had a synergy. They had something. You had never seen anything like the S1Ws.
Right.
You had never seen a Flavor Flav. Flav was totally original. Right. You had never even seen or heard anything like a Chuck D, because his voice was just like so different, and the way he rhymed, and then he called himself the rhyme animal. It's like, come on, man.
Right. Everybody was disciplined in their own area.
Yeah, everybody
was starting their own area.
Then you had the Bomb Squad as the production boy.
Everybody
everybody played their part. Everybody played their part.
Everybody played their part.
Everybody what's
that same production? That same production. You mentioned the Bomb Squad. That same production also introduced the world to an MC who decided to leave a group that he was in that had become very popular, but he decided to leave, and he needed some producers. He wanted a different sound. He came to NY, and he met up with the Bomb Squad.
And history was
made.
Gave
him an album
that was a classic.
Who is that MC I'm speaking of?
Oh man, you know none other you speaking of but O'Shea Jackson.
O'Shea Jackson, aka Ice Cube.
That album.
You heard that jail cell. When you heard that jail cell click together.
Come on, man.
Man,
Ice Cube
payback. Man.
Ice Cube. People don't realize. I used to tell my son that, you know, I tell little cats. I say, look, man, there was a time when Ice Cube was a god when it came to rap. Like before this, the Ice Cube, these kids and people know, before Tupac or anybody, all of them had to take a second note to Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the epitome of fear of a black. Like he put fear in people. I mean, then that dude really had it locked down. He had the look, he had the voice, he had the lyrics, he had the intention. He had all the ingredients. And every album he dropped, it was just like he was killing them. America's Most Wanted. Then he dropped, to me, one of the best EPs ever, Kill at Will. I was like, oh my God, Kill at Will. Then after that, what he dropped? Then he dropped probably one of the best classic ever, The Death Certificate. Like, come on, bro.
And that was in the time when we were still with cassettes. So one side of the cassette was the life side.
Ooh.
The second side of the cassette was the death side. And no one has done anything like that up until that point.
Hey, boy, you said something right there. And then he narrated it. Welcome to the life side.
Welcome to the life side. He directed it.
Hey, that was,
and every song had something to do with life.
Yeah, right.
Second side, everything has something to do with
death,
the demise.
Then you know, it's interesting, man. I think one of the things that I'm saddened by hip hop when I see it now, and you know, and I hate, and I don't really specifically blame these rappers now, because they're just narrating their time. You know, back then we was narrating what we were going through at the time. Rappers to me are nothing but news anchors for what's going on. We're all narrating some aspect of our lives, and even though I think now is a little bit more formulated, and you know, there's kind of like this little formula, but Q, man, I guess what I'm trying to say is that rap was able to introduce you to things you hadn't seen. It was able to bridge coasts together. We wouldn't have known what was going on the East Coast if it weren't for rap videos. We wouldn't have known what was going on the West Coast if it weren't for rap music and rap videos, your MTV Raps and all the stations like that. Because we saw colors for the first time, and the world got introduced to like what the gang banging life was like on a whole nother close-up look. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say that to say like rap was so instrumental in the resurgence of the Nation of Islam at that time. Like people, they, you know, when you seen on that same cassette, you talking about Cube had the NOI on there, and he was reading the final call paper. They was on one side, and he got the lynch mob on one side, and then, you know, Chuck D all speaking of, don't tell me that you understand until you hear it, the man, Apollo or Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made you like, who was Farrakhan? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they really was like, it was like the new movement. It's like music back then was the new civil rights movement, the new wave. And it was like, you know, it was so interesting, man. It taught you so much. Like, so much I learned from groups like X-Clan and them kind of people. You know, they made you want to read, like, man, what he talking about? What is a Kundalini? What is he talking about? And, you know, talking all, you know, you want to know that, you know. So it's like they helped expand.
That's when you can really tell that it was a culture. It was a lifestyle.
You're right. It was a culture for real.
It was a culture.
It was a culture. It was a positive culture, because it's a culture now, but it's not. It wasn't that. That was a very positive and productive and influential culture. It was like, yo, that it was, because it was cool to wear black medallions, and, you know, and Pete, I had so many African black pieces, it was ridiculous. So it was like, that was the shit. You know, and it was either that or a big fat gold rope, you know, 4-finger ring. It was choose your poison. And even when you had the chunky rope on, you was still spitting God body lyrics. Rakim stayed chunked up, but he was, you knew him as the God MC. You knew he was 5%. Big Daddy Kane stayed chunked up, but you knew he was 5%. You know, he gonna spit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all that stuff intertwined and then meshed. It's like you saw the African tribal side of us, like with groups like X-Clan, and you also saw the African royalty side of us, where them boys had them chunks and them, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was all aspects and different nuances of our Africanity. You know what I'm saying?
We took more pride into that.
We took more pride in it. You know, and it was like, you know, that was interesting. It was very interesting, man. So, you know,
that was definitely an interesting time. I wish we could revisit that.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, like, you know, you look at it, then I guess that's how our parents and all them, even though those times were a little bit more troubling, you know, it's like us saying, dang, you know, we hear about the Black Panther Party back then, and, you know, the UNIC, the Marcus Garvey movement, all that stuff that throws me, especially me being a radical mind and someone that's not only an MC but an activist. Those were some times that I kind of, at times I used to say, man, I wish I was in that era. But, you know, that's gone. So that's how our era we're talking about now, or this particular era of rap, is to these kids now, and our children and grandchildren. It's just a time, and, you know, we only could reiterate it and tell the story, you know, pass it on like traditional hip hop lore. But you know, we'll see how it goes, man. So we definitely need how T.I. got the Trap Museum. We need a museum that's just dedicated to hip hop on that sense. Matter of fact, do they have one?
Yeah.
They have a hip hop museum, right?
Yes.
Where is that? Where is it located?
I'm not sure, but I hear him speaking of.
Yeah, now that I think about it, when I said it kind of jarred my memory. I think we do have one. Yeah, you know, something just really take the kids back on that, man. Like, because those are some times where, man, we could talk about all the time, and I like to get in the studio and vibe with cats, man, and on that. And I guess that's a great segue to say that that's what led me to kind of want to create and be a major catalyst with adult contemporary hip hop, you know. And, you know, when I thought about it, I was like, man, I really want to do something that will continue to allow myself to keep doing this music and not feel like I'm caught in a time warp, or feeling like I got to appeal to a younger crowd or audience that I've mentally and I've spiritually and age-wise I've surpassed. And, you know, you've seen me kind of go through my transitions with it, and it's been times where, you know, you're trying to figure yourself out, like, where I'm gonna go with this music, because I've said all I could say in that time period. I've said all I could say because, you know, I'm a MC that narrates my reality. So if my reality is changing, then I'm not saying that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my new reality, you wonder if it's appealing. You wonder if people actually will like the music or like what you're saying to some degree. You know, sometimes artists think like that. And it's people like yourself and, you know, other people who always, you know, kind of dug what I was doing and just kind of gave me the fortitude to say, you know, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I just got to find a way I could do it that's more comfortable with me. And I think that appeals to me first, and also,
and it still appeals to the people that are in your generation that still loves to hear that type of music.
exactly.
Thus, adult contemporary hip hop. We still like that. We still like to hear that. You still got people again in your generation, your peer set that still do it. I heard let me see who it was. Daddy O from Stetsasonic one time say he still sharpens his sword. He still feels he's one of the good guys. I want to say he writes one rhyme per day.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? And you talking about, I think, someone who was even older than we are.
Word.
And
Daddy O got to be well into his 50s. You know, he might be approaching a strong 60. You know, I don't know how old, but I would give him at least no less than 54. You know, he gotta be, you know, somewhere in that mid range. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And dude, it's funny, I heard his song, I heard Stetsasonic song the other day. I was listening to the radio. They played Talking All That Jazz. And I was listening to them, and they was like the hip hop band. They really was a hip hop band. The way Stetsasonic, Fruquan, and I can't think of the other dude name. They was like, they had like a different kind of singy type style. So they weren't really like lyrical on it. But so to hear him say on YouTube on that video, you talking about like he feel he better than he was then, and he's lyrical. Right. I would like to hear that. I'm like, damn, Daddy, I would like to hear that. I would like to hear that.
Me too.
Oh, Daddy O. Yo, Daddy O. School him some more. Who say that part? Hey, she been dope since she touched the microphone. She can get on the mic right now and still kill it. It's just she just got it. Whatever that is, she has it.
She has
her voice, her swag. She always was like.
I just heard Cha 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 yesterday, as a matter of fact. When I heard it, I said, "Woo!" I remember that was sort of like her comeback. Like,
yeah. She just was, man, that light, boy. She was light, but she wasn't. She was light in name, but she was heavy as an MC.
She was heavy as an MC.
Remember
when she came through with that Georgie Porgy? And the track to it.
Oh my God. The track probably was the killer. Whoever produced that track,
yeah.
My God, that track was crazy. And it was a good story.
It was a good story. Very good story.
She said Georgie Porgy had too much on his mind. He was still young yet running out of time. Hey, she said something on that. I was like, woo. Now I'm gonna tell you I will say this. What I didn't care for was gotta have a roughneck. I was like, I ain't okay, like I don't know about that.
You're not a female, man.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know about
You're not a female. That was for the females, man.
Yeah.
Because I knew a lot of females who love that song.
For real?
They come with he's bopping to that. Okay. Y'all got that one.
Yeah, that was a little much for me on that one. I was like, because I guess all the chicks just look. To me, it was a little bit. They was looking a little too rugged for me. I ain't see the femininity in it enough. You know, they got the Timbos on, hats to the back. They got the big jeans, the baggy pants. You know, because that was the thing. But you know, I know that's probably how up north they might have kicked it back then. But I was like, I don't know. That's what made me like. See, I like with a little femininity, and also like that's why I like. Remember Antoinette? I used to like Antoinette. Antoinette was fly to me. Antoinette and even Sweet Tea. Remember Sweet Tea? Ooh.
Sweet Tea was also on that concert with
Yeah, Sweet Tea was on that concert.
Yeah.
It was another female on there though. You know who it was? I don't know if it was Sweet Tea. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't Sweet Tea. It was Smooth.
MC Smooth. That's who was on there. Because she was on that soundtrack.
Right.
It was the soundtrack they were on. Right, MC Smooth. God, what happened to MC Smooth? I think she might have. I don't want to put that out there, but for some reason I feel like years ago something happened with her. But I mean, that's the case. You got to bring up the Boss. Remember Boss?
Boss
Boss had a good run.
Yeah.
Boss had a good run, and Heather B.
Heather B.
Heather B had her little run.
Yeah.
Heather she's a radio talk show
personality.
Radio personality, yeah.
DJ.
She's a personality. Moni Love too. You be hearing Moni Love on the radio, right?
Yeah.
That was my little crush right there back in the day. Yeah. When I seen her on Ladies First, I was like, ooh. Yeah. She was spitting on there. Ladies First.
Wow. Speaking of Ladies First, Queen was first. Ladies First. Queen and then just to watch how she just branched out. Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, man, she's another one that I'm so proud of her growth. Like she found her way in, and she's exceptional at her craft.
Correct.
Like you have to put her name in the conversation of good actors or actresses. You know what I'm saying? Like she found her way. She ain't no play. Her Will, Ice-T, Ice Cube.
Right.
I definitely feel Tupac would have been a great actor by now. He would have had great movies under his belt. He probably would have been truly an Oscar winner, because he had that kind of range.
He did.
I think he had that kind of range. And speaking of which, that could help us go into our man Earl Simmons. I think Earl Simmons had the potential to be a great actor too. Earl Simmons.
He was a great actor. I didn't realize Earl Simmons had 11 movies under his belt.
Yeah. What?
11 movies? He had 11 movies.
I know about 5. I didn't know about.
Yeah, I can remember about 4 or 5, but 11. When I read that he had 11, I said, okay, wow. For someone who they tried to make it seem like he was indisposed so much, he did a lot. It was almost like Tupac. As much as you heard about him in the media for the negative things in their life, he did so much positive. They completed a lot of work.
Yeah.
They completed a lot of work.
You know what? Today I was listening to DJ Vad. Well, I think his name's Vlad, if I'm not mistaken. He actually has on his site, on his YouTube channel, DMX a sermon. He had a sermon. He preached a sermon, and I listened to it today. Dude really was pastoring. Like I was like, yo, it started off kind of like, okay, where you gonna go with this? But as he started to warm up and get into it, you could see the spirit get in him, and he really started. I was trying to actually I was gonna send you the link for you to check it out, but that's what X supposed to be. He said it even in there. He was like, and during the middle of his sermon, he was like, "This is the most comfortable I've ever felt. I'm supposed to be right here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm comfortable right here." Like he was really, and he was going to the Bible and everything, telling folks, turn your books to the book of Romans, and Paul said such and such, and Paul said, and when Paul said, and you fight the enemy, you fight the enemy. I was like, look at X. X was serious, and the people was like, "Say it, bro." I was like, look at this cat. I was like, my boy Earl. Earl's supposed to be behind that pulpit, boy. Earl was speaking, boy. I was like, yo.
He didn't have to be behind it. He was in front of the pulpit. We got
exactly. Yeah, he was in front of it. He was in front of it. His stage was the pulpit.
His stage is the pulpit.
Yeah, his stage.
When you look out, when you see him, and they had the camera behind him at a concert, and you see him in front of a sea of a.
You saw that? I saw that.
That's
like he was at a Woodstock or Lollapalooza or Lollapalooza or something like that.
Right.
Bro, it was a sea of people.
He
out there rocking it by himself with just a chain on. I was like, yo, this dude's a whole nother level right here. And they going crazy.
Going crazy.
I was like, yo, my man Earl Simmons, aka the dog.
Didn't as recent as I think it was March. I seen a clip where they had him here in Atlanta at a concert it was All-Star Weekend, as a matter of fact. Basketball, NBA All-Star Weekend. He was at one of the local clubs, and the DJ got him to perform. And they did several different songs of his. Dog spit the lyrics verbatim to each of those. Sound like a record. So here they should have seen it. You should see the crowd. He knew when to put the mic up for the pause that he knew, and that he know that the crowd, everybody in the crowd knew. You know how there's certain pause in the song where everybody know.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Like for instance with Slick Rick with Children's Story.
Yeah.
When they get to that part, what's the part everybody knows?
They the dope be shooting dope. Who don't know the meaning of what to know. That's so real, my brother. That's so real. Wow, man. I got so many favorite DMX songs, man. God, I got so many favorite DMX songs.
I didn't realize I did until you actually have to look at his discography and see all the songs.
Yeah, he definitely got a lot
he's one of those artists that you knew he was going to have something good. You kind of take it for granted because he is that good. And then you don't realize until they're gone how much it was that you enjoyed that artist. It's funny you say that. My oldest son had come in last week prior or after we were on air, and or maybe the weekend that X passed, and had come in the room and said, "Dad, I just want to give you my condolences for the death of DMX." And I was looking at him like he was like DMX was my family. Or he was looking at, he said, "Because I know how much you loved him as an artist. I knew how much you." So to when I thought about it, to have my son grow up, and obviously those were his discography was music that I was playing during the upbringing of my son. So to hear him say that and him recognize that says a lot to me. That means that X had been around for a while, that my son actually grew up listening to all of this music and was watching me during this time, observing me during this time, to remember that I remember my daddy really loved X. So I know that probably bothered him. Even when although he didn't know, of course he wasn't, well, he was born when Tupac passed, but I can recall him even saying that with Tupac, because during that time, we were younger then. We had the posters on the wall and whatnot. So kids seeing posters on the wall, and that's to see him. Once you see him as they get older, you realize, oh, that was the person that my dad was listening to. Okay, now he's putting two and two together.
Yeah, Pop was him, X. Some people just they're gonna leave an indelible mark on hip hop and also on the minds and hearts of so many, because Pop definitely left an indelible mark on me, and X unknowingly he actually has with me too. I didn't know X actually was in me like that. Like I came to really love X, the man and the artist, man, because like Tupac, X was transparent. He showed you his vulnerability. He showed you his weaknesses and his strength, and he made no qualms about it. He truly was a human being, and we watched a human being grow and transition. And it's like his way though, not no way.
Right.
We always knew he was trouble, but he always let you know at the same time. But he showed you the fallen and gifted angel that he was at the same time, and I really respect that about DMX.
I do too.
I really respect. I thank DMX for letting us see who he was. You know what I'm saying? Especially to have a childhood like he had and experience life on his level so young, man. So I'm really, really thankful for being in that time to see a DMX for real. That dude was the truth. I mean, so it's all good, man. Hey, how important and viable do you think adult contemporary hip hop is and should be in music at the present time?
I think it's very important for, again, people that are in our generation, because what they have to revert to are the songs of yesteryear when they want to get out and party and have a good time. It's nothing that is current. You end up hearing what you hear when you say go to a setting that's the majority of people that are in our set, our age set. The majority of the music, especially if it's hip hop, is going to be late 80s, all through the 90s music. You very rarely hear adult contemporary hip hop for today. We don't have anything from today to pull from to say. So to answer your question, to me, it's very important, because what we find ourselves just reaching back to our old things rather than reaching to something that's fresh and new and here and now.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what made me feel like it's such an imperative right now. It's so needed at the same time, and that's what drives me to do it, and that's what made me create the 555 album, because I think that I wanted something that will be the introduction, and myself, artists like Twamek, it's a few other artists out there. I'll be honest with you, some call it music adult rap, which is, to me, I think, in the same frequency of what we're doing. And I implore all MCs who are either in the 30s and even in 40s, and even if you're in your 50s, if the fire still burns in you to pick up the microphone and rhyme,
Continue to do it.
If you still feel like you got something to say, when you hear that beat on the radio, or you hear a beat you like and you find you get chills and your pen go to dancing on the paper, I mean, man, do your music, man. Do your music. Leave a legacy for your people, man. I mean, do something. Just be obedient to the will of that gift, man. Be obedient to it. That's what I had to do. I just had to be obedient to it and let the chips fall where they may.
Especially in this day and age, because in comparison to our day and age, there's more opportunities for your art, your artistic.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and you don't have to go through a record label.
To get heard, to get seen. Whereas in our day, if you
go
weren't
straight to your core audience, you could go straight to your core audience. You go straight to your core audience.
You can create your own audience.
You can create your own audience. That's it, and that's what the goal and aim is of adult contemporary hip hop. I wanted with this platform, not only this platform, but this music where we have nothing but adults that's coming in, chiming in, and it's like, yo, I'm so grateful that we now have a lane. We have a conduit to actually flow our music through now. Because I'm telling you, that it's going to happen. It's inevitable. That's the one thing that you can't evade. They can't evade it, because all these little young rappers and even rappers that's getting into that point where they might be, coming to, the finish line of their little hype. They're coming right into adult contemporary hip hop. As long as you keep eating, breathing, and keep making music, it's inevitable. You're gonna come into this music or this genre. So, man, I think it's just gonna be something that just it's really bigger than my ideas. So the idea is bigger than me, So I'm just grateful to be a part of it and grateful to actually be, in a space where I can actually have a platform to help put it out there, man. And then I, like yourself, a spoken word artist, I want to show, like, even with spoken word, any like, hip hop is just not rapping. Hip hop it embodies the genre of creativity that deals with poetic expression. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to, like you mentioned earlier.
You actually said it best. You actually said it best in your summation last week.
Can you reiterate what I said?
I can't really, not verbatim, but you're tapping into basically the same thing you said last week as it related to spoken word and hip hop. To a lesser degree, spoken word is like the poor man's. A spoken word artist like a poor man hip hop artist, so to speak, or rapper.
It is, man.
Now,
it is.
May not necessarily be the poor man of that. It just.
Hey, man, it's just crazy, man. But I enjoy these kind of conversations, man. I like getting on and just talk about real music, talking about the times. It's a lot of, you get a lot of platforms. They talk about a lot of the gossip that go on in it, and that's good. That gets likes, that gets ratings. But I like to talk about
lifestyle,
the lifestyle, the science,
their history, what made them, something that would help you better yourself. We don't need to get into the gossip. Let somebody else do the gossip and whatnot. I mean, there are saints and there are sinners.
Because we're adults. At the end of the day, we're adults, and adults lead and adults teach.
Right.
And I think it's a situation where the hip hop has to embody, and it has to be indicative of that mind state. So I'm just happy, the space that we're both in and we're still creating. And for all those out there who actually are hearing this and listening to us, again, I reiterate and I say to you profoundly, if it's in you to still create, be obedient to the will of your gift. Just create, man. Let it flow, man. I mean, like, even if you ain't pick up the mic in 10 years, pick it up, man. Dust that pen off. Blow that dust off that paper. Pick up an old rhyme to inspire yourself and say, I guarantee if you read a rhyme that you wrote years ago, it may
Inspire
inspire you and then live in you to want to do something like, wow, I can't believe I wrote that. Because sometimes I look back at old stuff I wrote and it's like it takes me through through a time warp, like, damn. I can't believe I was thinking like that back then, or like look where I was at right then. Wow, or it makes you picture a place you was at when you wrote that rhyme, or a condition you was in that made you want to write that rhyme that you was going through at a time. So it's like I love to be able to transition or go back into that time through them old songs. Sometimes be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So like when I listen to A Night and Day, we're moving up. You know what I'm saying? I listened to my first ever record. It's like, wow. I mean, from vocals to everything, I've totally, like
just think you actually had that music on record.
I actually had that music
on vinyl.
Yeah, wow. On record. Yeah, literally on record. Ain't that
literally
something?
On record.
Yeah, that's when you went and got the mother copies and you got wax pressed. I remember us going to get the mother copy and taking it down to God, I can't think of the name of it in Miami.
It was those days when you actually had a record that made you think you was a star. Just to actually have a record. Nobody had
we had a record. That's when you took that. Yeah, you took that record to the radio station and you getting them to try to play that record and everything.
Trying to get them to play that record.
Oh man, that was the joint right then, man. That was the joint. Oh boy. Oh man, speaking of which, Money Prone, I got him an MP like yours. He about to start producing. He sent me the picture and everything. Money Prone got equipment now.
Oh yeah,
the first time. Money Prone, Big Grill, Big G. Yeah, Money Prone got
equipment. Huh?
He said he got some equipment. So I told him, I said it's been over 30 years, my brother. I need to get a banger from you just to bless your creation. You started me on this journey. At least let me end it with something that you created. You know what I'm saying? So
he reached out to me the other day.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, Money Prone. That was up, man. Well, look, man, we done came to the end of the segment, and as always, I enjoy these kind of talks we have. We have them on a regular. Some people will fly on the wall in some of our conversations we be having. We go into it, especially when you've been there and you know the music, and so. Again, before we leave, let the folk know where they can get your product again, and let them know about what you got coming up, what's in store, the new vid that you was working on today. I always want them to know what you got going on, so people not surprised when.
Again, as always, Hue HUE-AMI.com.
I
Check
love
it out. It has everything about Gerald Live. Again, I have a project coming out, spoken word project. Hue Am I, A Day in the Life Of, which will be dropping very, very soon. I also have a video that's available on YouTube, Gerald Live Productions. It's called Double Standards. I'm sure, or I'm hoping, and I believe that you will enjoy that. So take the time out to get that. Again, I also have some books that will be dropping in early summer. One Led Astray, one Lil Walter.
Indeed. And I saw that t-shirt. I got to get my Lil Walter t-shirt, by the way. I meant to tell you that.
I got one for you coming.
For sure. I got to get it. Anyway, man, it's a
pleasure. I ordered something the other day.
For sure. Hey, man, thank you again, Cuzzo, for coming through, man. Like I say, man, I'm going to have you on periodically. I like to have you as a co-host. I like the fact that we talk about this music, man, and talk about new projects. And definitely appreciate you coming last minute, man. And indeed, so to the next weekend, we will definitely check you out, and I'll be hollering at you, bro.
All right,
one.
No.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings our segment and our hour to a close. I want to thank Gerald again for joining me. He joined me last week, and I was going to hold it down and just kind of talk with you all and have a couch moment. But I said, why not bring in old Gerald since we always in private talking about music and talking about great artists and the craft and all kind of other things surrounding hip hop. So that's why I was kind of compelled to have him come on again. I want to close by saying that first and foremost, rest in paradise, Earl Simmons, aka DMX. It's not every day that we get a chance to not only experience, but be blessed with music from such an artist. Someone who was fearless in revealing himself to the world, despite judgment. Because the world could be a very cruel place. People could be very judgmental. People could be very cruel. People can be your best friend and at the same time your worst enemies. But as he stated, and as we know, and as the Bible states, it's not flesh and blood that we battle, but it's spirit and principalities that governs and rules over all. So I know his spirit is in a beautiful place, a place of true serenity and peace. And I know he's finally back at the source. To my youngsters who are doing this thing called rap music and hip hop, if by chance you get a chance to see this, I'm nobody special. I'm just a man that loves the music. I'm a man that was touched by hip hop at a very young age that changed my life, actually saved me. Because at that time, I was on my own road of probably destruction, the way I ran and the type of people I was with at that time. So I thank hip hop. Hip hop was actually a savior for me. And that's why I think I hold it so dear to my heart. And to see hip hop now, how it has been transmogrified and transformed into something that is promoted somewhat in a degrading and negative way. I only ask that we be more conscious about the type of content that we put in our music. We be more adherent and more, I would say, advertent about what it is we say to the masses. Because yes, we like to say that we're not role models, but in actuality, you might not feel like you're a role model, but when your music influences thousands of people, you saying you're not a role model is out the window. Your music is the role model. And if your music is the role model and you made the music and you're on the music and it's your voice that is being heard, then you become the role model. Be conscious about what you're saying in a very positive way. Again, I am Redd Fidel, the incomparable Redd Fidel, aka Red Carpet Red, signing out. Don't forget to get that album. 555 is out right now on all your major streaming sites. And you can also purchase it at redfidel.bandcamp.com. I look forward to seeing you ride the wave. Adult contemporary hip hop uncovered. Salute.